Morning, Dahlia Love Club members. Eva here. Last night was pretty cold. Didn't get down to below freezing, but the cold nipped the dahlia plants, and I just want to give you a look at that phenomenon. So once a dahlia gets too cold, you'll notice that the leaves will start curling under or look translucent. A lot of what I'm telling you is just my own language for what phenomenon I've noticed. And, talk about the term phenomenon. Here, we're developing an educational program where we're not trying to tell you all the hardcore science facts, because sometimes when you do that, it could alienate you from the process of getting to know plants and flowers unnecessarily. At first, when you're first learning, we recommend that you just go for it. Meaning, it's all for you. You're part of nature also. So no one had to tell you all the details of you, and you. Same thing with the plants. Like, if you're going to spend time with them, you're going to learn about them. And, that's the end of the story, really. But after you learn about them from your core experience, then you can go back in and get all the science stuff in place. It might take longer than some people, might take shorter than some people, but here's an example see how shiny the leaf looks, and you could tell it's wet. The frost that's evidence to me that the frost was on there last night, and now it's melting off. These are going to become darkened and blacked probably in a couple days, but these are things you'll notice by working with the dahlia over time. Every year might be slightly different, but there are generalities that you'll learn to expect. So you'll see that the petals also become translucent. It's another experience of them. That's another thing that we're advocating, is you could enjoy that and have a very fragile bouquet, and then observe inside your house what happens or progresses from there. There's a book that I'd like to recommend called Flower Confidential. That book is really talking about how flowers have become standardized, and there's an expectation through sales and marketing and things that you may or may not be on board with, or need to have standard in your existence with flowers. So take a look at that book. That was an eye-opener for me and kind of propelled a lot of what I'm doing right now. I don't remember the author's name, but I do remember that book was on the bestsellers list for a period of time several years ago. So I think it'll be easy to find. So anyway, here's some more damage or progression into the season of autumn for dahlia. See how the leaves are weak. The stems have gotten shriveled up pretty much. So the plant is now going to start sending the remaining energy that it has to its tubers and into seed formation. Yep, these buds won't open. Whether they were pollinated or not is yet to be seen, but we're going to leave these plants in the ground and not cut them until probably the second week of November, or just base it on the way it seems out. Like, we don't want the tubers in the ground when it's frozen, when the ground is frozen, because we're taking them out. But here's echinacea. This is kind of what we can anticipate for the dahlia. They went down earlier. See how they'll turn black. These are perennial. They come back every year in this region, probably in most regions, to tell you the truth. But anyway, so this is a quick tour of what happens. Some people say, and Jesse just told me, they've been nipped by the cold. A hard frost would just turn them close to black right away. This is kind of an evidence of that kind of a phenomenon. We might be able to salvage a few flowers just to enjoy. That's another thing that I'd like to recommend, is that as seasons change, you take the flowers at whatever stage they're at and bring them in and watch them and relate to them, and let them help you pass into the next season as well. Because this is the time of year where the earth is pulling inward its energies. You know, you would have you probably felt the feeling of all the outward energy when we saw all these dahlias pushing out into the atmosphere. You know, that's outward energy. Now you'll see the plants are pulling energy back down into the ground or into the core of the earth, you could imagine. And it happens to us too this time of year. We will hunker down and you'll feel that sensation probably. You know, not everyone does, but most people do. And some people even will go down to where it's not exactly happening as hard, like in Florida or something like that, somewhere like that. So I was heading over to show you the calendula seed formation. So here I go. Some plants will give like a last ditch effort for their flowering, because remember, flower then seed. If it just warms up a little, they'll try like, let me do a couple last efforts. But here's what happened with the calendula formation. You know, the flowers are still coming. These will open later. The neat thing about calendula is they'll open up when it's warm out. But so they were green like this last week, and now this is, I'm not sure if you know about shatter mode, but when you touch a seed head, right now they're damp from all the moisture last night, I think, but if you touch a seed head and they shatter easily like this, that means they're ready for harvest. The birds know this and will probably try to interfere. They're not trying to interfere. They're trying to eat the seeds, but it will interfere with your gathering. So you have to stay in contact with your plant and watch so that you can get there in time. Calendula has like very interesting seeds, and they vary, but they do germinate, usually all of them, different shapes, I mean. That's something that is an example. Like, so I've observed that, I've been watching that, I've been starting seeds, I've been noticing that even the weird looking ones tend to germinate. I'm not exactly sure, right? So what I'm going to do is look that up, because I've noticed the phenomenon. Then I will go to a journal and, well, right now I'm going to throw this into this area. We tend to put the calendula here every year. Flowers tend to be a resting crop, so I don't really worry about the crop rotation as much for something like this, because they're just nourishing the area. Okay, so the phenomenon, I'll look up the actual details and find out the names of what these shapes are and what part actually germinates, and just be sure. So in this calendula observation I've made throughout probably 10 years, starting at Crossroads Farm way back, probably a little earlier than that, even when I was a kid, but this more intimate relationship with calendula, making salves and everything. Judy Consigli showed us how to do that first. So now I could look up all the scientific detail to add to my base knowledge, which we're saying, or I'm saying, or we're all, what Montessori was saying and Rudolf Steiner was saying was, let the phenomenon of your first relationship with nature just come viscerally, if that's the word, or right from your heart to the plant, and allow that for other people too, by not interfering with giving too much science information right off the bat, because it dampens the phenomenon. It makes you a different project. That is a great project, but it's not the first project that we're wanting to have happen. There's some deer wondering what we're doing over here. Probably looking for David and Ollie and Caleb because they made a great relationship with this little group here. And we have a 8-foot fence around our, 10 foot, I think. Well, actually, we dug down 3 feet to also protect from the critters who like to burrow under, like marine. And these deer would probably attempt to jump over even this height of a fence, but it's just not too exciting for them to potentially get stuck, and they know that. So here in Pennsylvania, a garden like this would just be kind of a buffet for the deer. So that's why we have this big fence. Okay, there's lots we could talk about around creating a enclosure around the garden and what it does for the identity of the garden. We'll talk about that later. But anyway, we just wanted to give you a look at the frost damage. I keep saying frost damage, but try to be aware that it's just this next stage. Yep. All right, well, autumn is upon us, and our beautiful tree is showing its yellow. I'm going to gather these marigolds for celebrating this time of year in a church in Port Jervis. They asked for some marigold heads. It's a Mexican congregation that would like to decorate with. And there's damage on here, or their progression into the shutting down of the plant, but the marigold heads are always very vibrant and exciting to see. Okay, so have a great day, and enjoy what you feel like you want to stir in yourself today. Stirring it up helps you feel connected to life. So if you were a little excited about something, if you push yourself to go embrace it, like I was very excited to see what happened overnight, and now it's pulling me forward to saying lots of things. One was, let's make a video for the Dahlia Love Club. And then the other one is, I wonder what bouquets I can create right now with what's left, and also what seeds are here to harvest, and what can I observe. Give yourself some relief from, I'm going to say, the computer, even though I do see the value of computers in the world, but sometimes when we sit with them too long, we get sucked into another world, which is good, but to have for things in life and to know about, because that's where a lot of people are right now. But I shouldn't say but. And so this is a cosmos seed, which I always find to be amazing. Watch the shatter. Woo! All right, definitely in shatter mode. And this is amaranth. You can pop these little seeds in here like mini popcorn. Very mini popcorn. The black ones are the seeds. Okay. I could talk to you for a long time. I think it might be a favored time of year, autumn, for me, being that I'm a seed gatherer. Enjoy yourself. Talk to you soon. Bye.